funky, all funky Celtic. Hey everybody, Michael O'Reilly here, aka the Funky Celtic. Welcome to my YouTube station, YouTube channel, live from Singapore. Hope you enjoyed the vlogs on rhythm guitar. I think there's 3 of them and they're included here. And I spoke about a lot of rhythm stuff in those vlogs. And I feel it's an important part of guitar. Playing rhythm is bread and butter for me. It's what I do most nights. But I do take the occasional solo. And that's a lot of fun too, definitely. Something we can look into. And I'd like to start off with a solo. One of my very favorite solos ever recorded. This is from Steely Dan's Royal Scam album, featuring the great Larry Carlton on a song called Kid Charlemagne. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. This was recorded many, many years ago, but I still think it's just a great solo. If I was to hear it just now, I'd still just like, wow, Carlton. Amazing phrasing, tone. If you don't realize how great a solo it really is, I suggest learning the chords, and we're going to work on this today. Learn the chords and maybe, have them recorded somewhere, put a metronome on, find a way to just hear the harmony, and then, try and take a stab at it yourself and see how challenging it really is, and what an amazing solo he sculpted here. Okay, before we get into the solo, I'd like to just take a minute and talk about the way we're learning music today. And I know a lot of you guys are going into YouTube, and when you're looking to learn something, you just click in the song title and tutorial, and it comes up, and there's a lot of great stuff out there. I've checked it out myself, don't get me wrong. It can be quite convenient. Only thing I find lacking in that system is that for the most part it's done with numbers. All the tuition are guys telling you which fret to put your fingers on with no regard to which note you're playing. I've been playing in bands for maybe 27 years now, and I took guitar lessons many years ago, and I was very fortunate. I had a wonderful teacher, and one of the first things that he made me do was to learn my 12 keys and then start to apply that to the neck, meaning knowing where my notes are, not just 5, 7, 9, etc. I strongly suggest, if you want to become a professional musician, a guitar player, and as I'm put into many situations and have been over the years with many different people, you want to know what you're doing. You want to know if, oh, we're going to do it in this key. You don't want to be like, oh, well, I don't know my keys. Strongly suggest to work on that. And I'm going to go through the solo and really highlight some parts that I think are just really great. And I'm going to use notes. I'm not going to use numbers. But it's out there. If you want to get a transcription of it, it's out there, and I'm sure, and there's someone doing it in YouTube with the numbers. So you can check out both and maybe reference what I'm doing here with the notes, and I hope that helps. All right, let's just dive right into this. We're coming from a C dominant sound right before the solo starts. This tune is essentially in a key of A minor, and what we're going to do is to go through the chords in small sections. Okay, so the beginning of it, where the solo starts on this D minor, okay? Right before that was what's called a 2-5. I'm not going to explain. If you're interested, there's links below. You can check it out. Okay, so an E minor 7 flat 5 and an A7 sets up a D minor. Okay, this is where the solo starts. D minor with C in the bass. B minor 7 flat 5. E7, I think there's a sharp 9 on there. Back to A minor. That's the first 2 bars of the solo. So essentially, we're still in the key of A minor. Okay, that's all A minor stuff. Now we start walking down. Okay, let's do another section. A minor goes to a G6, to an F. Okay, in those two bars we have again, that's all A minor stuff. Okay. Let's move into the next. We're going to just isolate this. This is just one bar of the solo, and this is where we have a D minor and a B7. So this is really a different tonality happening here, because we're setting up to go into another key, into E minor. This is a bar of 2/4, meaning there's only 2 beats in this bar, and this is very interesting because Carlton just outlines the chords so beautifully here with a 16th note passage. Okay, D minor. Okay, there's the first part of it, and that essentially is a D minor chord. That's E to F, A, C, D minor 7, D. There's the B7. Take the D and slide it up to D sharp. Okay, and again, this is chord tones. That's what he's just playing chord tones here. Now he's playing over the B, and that's a D sharp and an F sharp, the 3rd and the 5th. Then he bends the F sharp up to a G, because now we're in a new tonality. We're in this E minor sound with an F sharp rather than an F natural. Okay. Again, that's an E minor lick. Okay, it's E minor straight. Now we're moving down to a D. Interesting what happens here. Okay, that is a G moving up to an A, and then this D. Sorry. And I think what that is I've seen Carlton do this in his own lessons, where he says rather than practice straight scales, a D major sound, for example, he'll just isolate and try to find where all the D's are on the neck. And then he might use a 5th and play that across the neck. And that kind of sounds what, for me at least, what he's doing there. Okay, now we're down to a C major 7. For me, that sounds like G major pentatonic. Now, I'll give you a little pentatonic lesson here.